Thanks, Jacqueline. Yes, flash freezing, definitely a risk as we head into the late weekend. Now, in terms of the snowfall amount that we can expect, Saturday night, generally for southern Ontario, less than 2 centimeters because I did mention that rain coming. But as we head further to the north towards Barrie, that's where the numbers pick up. 5 to 10 centimeters of snow expected. And as we head further to the east, now this is more of a Sunday event, as I mentioned, for Atlantic Canada. So northern portions of New Brunswick, Fredericton, we could be seeing 10, 20 centimeters of snowfall. Generally 5 to 10 centimeters as we head into Nova Scotia and the western shores of Newfoundland, higher amounts, upwards of 10 centimeters of snow. Stay with us. Storm Watch continues. Our live Storm Watch coverage continues on the Weather Network. Michelle Mackey joining you. Let's begin our weather story in Atlantic Canada. Radar currently picking up on some sea effect snow showers through the maritime provinces. We also have a weak surface low sitting over Newfoundland. That combined, we're looking at generally 2 to 5 centimeters for portions of Newfoundland. The bigger amounts through the southwestern shores of Newfoundland, places like Stephenville, could be picking up 5 to 10 centimeters of snow through Thursday night, but the majority of that snow will be falling on Friday. Let's check in with Nathan earlier in the day. He was in the city of Halifax. Absolutely, Nathan. Messy and fast-moving, keywords that we should talk about. So high pressure earlier on in the day through the city of Halifax. We didn't see much snow falling where Nathan was, but that is likely to change. We have a convergence of systems. An Alberta Clipper, a Texas low, they will merge over the Maritimes through your Sunday. We'll begin to see that snowfall through the pre-dawn hours of Sunday. But as you can see, fast-moving. By Monday, Tuesday, high pressure builds into the area, and we will be clearing up, but temperatures set to take a drastic drop. Let's take a look at some of the numbers that we can expect. Places like Halifax, Nova Scotia, 5 to 10 centimeters of snow through your Sunday. But as we track further up into New Brunswick, into Quebec, that's where those snowfall numbers really begin to pick up. 10 to 20 centimeters of snow. Fredericton, we could also be seeing some freezing rain, some ice pellets. Like Nathan was saying, driving conditions could be a bit of a nightmare. Let's take you now to Alberta. But hey, we would always love to receive our viewers' photos and videos. If you would like to do that, please upload them at upload.theweathernetwork.com. Snowfall warnings currently in effect for portions of northern Alberta. We also have that extending into southern portions of Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and northwestern Ontario. With the snowfall, this is all due to that Alberta Clipper system. So you can see on the radar, it is tracking to the east. Places like Edmonton have already picked up about 9 centimeters, an additional 6 centimeters of snow to fall. But this system is moving to the south and southeast. So you can see places like Red Deer, Calgary will also begin picking up on that snow as we head into the evening hours on Friday. In terms of our amounts, Calgary, that's where we're looking generally about 5 to 10 centimeters. But as we head up into the Rockies, places like Jasper, 15 centimeters that we could be seeing, 10 to 15. So that's good news for skiers, of course, but driving, not such a good thing. Now, another big issue we have to talk about, of course, the extreme cold warnings that we are seeing through portions of our prairie provinces. This also extends into the extreme north of Ontario. Through the overnight on Friday, we could be seeing wind chill values or below -45. So don't spend too much time outside, and if you have to, layer up. The less exposed skin, the better. So here's the purples that we're talking about. Purple, an indication of temperatures at or below the -15 mark before the wind chill. That's why we have all of those warnings in place issued by Environment Canada for the cold temperatures. That will persist as we head into your Saturday, and the winds still coming from the northwest. So really going to be feeling those cold temperatures. On the BC coast, we are picking up on some higher elevation snow, also some showers through the Victoria, Vancouver area, and winter storm watches in effect as we head into the weekend. Thanks so much for tuning into the Weather Network as our live Storm Watch coverage continues. Michelle Mackey joining you. Now, we are in Storm Watch for a few different reasons. The first, an Alberta Clipper bringing snow to portions of our prairie provinces. The second reason is a Texas low. That's going to be tracking through the northeast towards Ontario, merging together and bringing a system for this weekend. Now, this Texas low has already caused widespread chaos through the United States. Let's take a recap of some of what we've already seen. Wow, incredible footage. Safe to say this system is going to be bringing with it quite a lot of active weather. As I was mentioning, it's the convergence of two systems over central Canada that's going to be the big weather maker, though. So as we move through the weekend, Saturday, that's when it becomes an event for Ontario, Quebec. Sunday, the story is for Atlantic Canada. High pressure builds in after that, and then on Tuesday we see our second low pressure system roll into southern portions of Ontario, and with the cold weather on tap, we are very likely to see some snow. But let's take a look at what we can expect for this weekend. We begin Saturday afternoon with rain to the south. We have a mixing line that's indicated by the pink. That's where we could see some freezing rain potentially. And blue, that's your snow further to the north. But as we head into Saturday evening, the warm front begins sliding up. So we see that transition line tracks further to the north towards Barrie. And above that, it remains a snow story. Now, Environment Canada has already issued freezing rain warnings for portions of Ontario and Quebec, including Montreal, because of all of that slick, icy roads that we can expect through your Saturday afternoon before this transitions into a rain story as we head into Saturday night. Now, in terms of how much snow we are expecting through Saturday afternoon, places like Barrie 5 to 10 centimeters, further to the south less than 2 centimeters because the snow really doesn't last long before we get that warm front pushing up all of the rain with it. But as we track further to the east, 10 to 20 centimeters through northern portions of New Brunswick, Fredericton, we could see some freezing rain. And as we head into Nova Scotia, generally 5 to 10 centimeters, but again, I want to clarify this is a Sunday event for Atlantic Canada. And more snow coming. Environment Canada has issued snowfall warnings for portions of northern Alberta, also southern portions of Saskatchewan, including Regina, and you can see why, also extending its way into Manitoba, northwestern Ontario. So lots of snowy weather. Certainly seems like 2015 is here with a wintry blast, doesn't it? In terms of our snowfall amounts, we are looking at extensive snowfall through northwestern Ontario, Winnipeg as well. Through Saturday, we could see upwards of 30 centimeters of snow.
Built.
Our live Stormwatch coverage continues here on the Weather Network. Thanks for tuning in. Michelle Mackey joining you. Now, we are in Stormwatch for several reasons. We have a system in the west and a system impending for Atlantic Canada and Central Canada as well. But right now, this is basically sea effect snow for the most part. We also have a low pressure system, very weak in nature, sitting over Newfoundland. So we are seeing higher amounts through the western shores of Newfoundland. But again, this is your snowfall amount through Saturday night. The very green and rainy Christmas that we saw. All right, let's get back into our impending system that I was telling you about. It's a convergence. We have a low pressure system to the north. That's your Alberta Clipper. And we also have a Texas low. That's coming from the south. It's packing with it a lot of moisture. And the result, snow. We are going to see rain, some freezing rain. It's a mixed bag of precipitation. So it's going to be the big event for Saturday in Ontario, Quebec. Sunday, that's when it makes its way into Atlantic Canada. And then come next Tuesday, another low moves into southern Ontario with cold temperatures. We're setting the stage for extensive snowfall. Now, what we can expect for snowfall amounts as we head into the weekend. For southern Ontario, 2 to 5 centimeters. Snow's not going to be the big story. It's going to be the freezing rain. And as we head further to the north, 5 to 10 centimeters. And the Sunday event for Atlantic Canada, the highest amounts will be through northern portions of New Brunswick. Let's take you now to Regina. It was a very snowy scene. If you would like to do that, upload them at theweathernetwork.com and share in our weather story. You can see the snow there. There is more to come, so much so that Environment Canada has issued snowfall warnings for southern portions of Saskatchewan, including Regina. This extends into southern Manitoba, northwestern Ontario, and we also have that warning in effect for portions of northern Alberta as well. Places like Edmonton have already picked up about 10 centimeters of snow. And by the end of it, when it's all said and done through Saturday evening, Edmonton, upwards of 10 centimeters, 15 centimeters possible. As we track further to the south, this Clipper system tracking southeast, Regina, 15 to 30 centimeters possible. So I know a lot of the kids, this is their last weekend before heading back to school, so they're going to get their white winter wonderland that they may not have had on Christmas Day. Now, as we head further to the north, this is where the extreme cold warnings come into effect. Environment Canada issues these warnings when temperatures are at or below the -40 mark, with wind chills. So it is certainly going to be cold through the overnight hours. If you are heading out, bundle up and don't stay out for too long. The risk of frostbite does get quite high. Now the purples, you can see that's your indication of temperatures at or below the -15 mark before the wind chill. This will persist through the overnight, and we're actually well below seasonal for most of our prairie provinces, except for the BC coast. As a matter of fact, rain, but that is likely to change as we head into the weekend. We have a winter storm watch in effect for portions of the southern coast, including Metro Vancouver. So this is the first snow warning or winter storm watch, pardon me, of 2015. Let's take a look at why we're experiencing this winter storm watch. This afternoon, some light showers, but as we head into your Saturday night, that's when the rain really begins to pick up. And that is all due to a Pacific low. It rolls in, rain mixing possible for the lower elevations. As we head into the higher elevations, it becomes a snow event. So if you're thinking of heading up for a ski or snowboard, it's good news for you. Places like Terrace, we could see upwards of 20 centimeters of snow. And we have snowfall warnings in effect. I'll get to that in just a moment. But first, thank you very much for tuning into the Weather Network. Michelle Mackey joining you as our live storm watch coverage continues. So, highlighted in blue, this is where Environment Canada has issued the snowfall warnings for. So that extends into Regina, through southern Manitoba, northwestern Ontario, and also through portions of northern Alberta. And that is where we find Deb Matyichka. Deb, what's the latest? Staying inside, nice and warm. I like the sounds of that. Unfortunately for you, Deb, you're outside, but you look like you're keeping warm in your very stylish winter gear. All right, so where Deb is, we've already seen about 5 centimeters of snowfall. It looks like more because, as she was saying, the blowing snow making visibility very reduced. But as we head up into the Rockies, Jasper, snowfall amounts increasing, 10 to 15 centimeters of snow on tap. Good news for skiers and snowboarders, of course. But the bad news, cold temperatures. Deb was mentioning the wind chill absolutely cutting through her outerwear. You can really feel it. The purples, that's an indication that temperatures are at or below the -15 mark before we factor in those wind chill values. So if you are heading outside through the weekend in the prairies, well below seasonal, stay warm. As we head to the BC coast, that's the good news. The not so good news, unfortunately, we do have winter storm watches in effect for southern portions of the BC coast. We could see a rain-snow mix Saturday night, but with snow through the higher elevations. So could be good news, could be bad news, however you want to take it. Let's take you now from the west coast to the east coast. Yes, we have a system impending for Atlantic Canada. It's a convergence of two systems. I'll get to that in just a moment. But first, we are picking up on some sea effect snow through the western shores of Newfoundland, and a weak surface low through the province is bringing extensive snowfall all the way over to the Avalon Peninsula. Charlottetown, PEI, that's where we're still in that sea effect snowfall. Now, the second reason we are in storm watch, of course, we have the Alberta Clipper bringing snow to the west, but we also have that convergence of systems I was telling you about. This is a Texas Clipper, or Texas low. That is going to merge with the Alberta Clipper over Ontario and Quebec on Saturday. And it's going to be snow, rain, freezing rain, a mixed bag for the provinces. And as we head into Sunday, it's more of an event for Atlantic Canada. Come next Tuesday, we see another low that's set to hit the southern portion of Ontario. Cold temperatures mixed with that low, we are very likely to see more snowfall. Thanks for tuning into the Weather Network as our Storm Watch coverage continues. Michelle Mackey joining you. Let's begin with what's happening through our prairie provinces. An Alberta Clipper sweeping its way east and bringing with it snowfall warnings. These have been issued by Environment Canada. Significant snowfall amounts through the city of Regina. We've been seeing that snowfall, much deserved. Certainly seems like 2015 is here with a wintry blast, doesn't it? And along with snowfall, another big story as we head into the west. Cold temperatures well below seasonal through the prairie provinces for the weekend. The purples, that's an indication of temperatures at or below the -15 mark. Yes, so very cold. That's before the wind chill. That will continue throughout the week. at the weekend, pardon me, and in northern portions of Manitoba and Saskatchewan, we're looking at extreme cold warnings with temperatures overnight with the wind chills feeling close to minus 45. So when we have that risk, our risk of frostbite becomes quite high. Exposed skin runs the risk of getting frostbite within 5 to 10 minutes. And speaking of the cold, let's check in with Deb Mediichka in Alberta. Thanks, Deb. Yeah, hard enough for the kids to go back to school after the Christmas holidays, let alone when we're talking about wind chill values in the minus mid-20s for much of Alberta. All right, in terms of our snowfall amounts, Calgary, we're looking at about 5 to 10 centimeters of snow through Saturday night. Now, our snowfall warnings have been dropped for Alberta. This has now become a snow event for the southern prairies. Places like Brandon could be getting upwards of 10 centimeters of snow as we track into the overnight hours. Now, as we slide across the Rockies into British Columbia, all of this snow has brought with it a very high avalanche danger rating. So for North Columbia, we're looking at all of that snow on a fragile snowpack, not ideal conditions. So do make sure if you're heading up for a ski or snowboard, before you head back to school, for the kids anyways, stay off the backcountry trails. My roommate was in Sunshine Village and she said absolutely no going on those backcountry trails. They had signs up. Not a good idea. Now, our snowfall amounts are approaching the 30-plus centimeter mark for places like Terrace in British Columbia. So that could be good news, but it could be bad news. Driving along some of the mountain passes could be quite treacherous as we head into the weekend. Let's transition now to the East Coast. We have an upper level low that's currently bringing with it some snowfall to Newfoundland. We're also looking at sea effect snow bringing higher amounts to the western shores. This is through your Saturday night. But as we head into Sunday, the big event is a merging of lows. We have a Clipper, we have a Texas low. They merge on Saturday over Ontario, Sunday for Atlantic Canada. Our Storm Watch coverage continues. Thanks for tuning into the Weather Network. Michelle Mackey joining you. We begin our weather story in Atlantic Canada. Sea effect snow and a weak low pressure system sitting over Newfoundland, bringing with it extensive snow. Higher amounts in places like Stephenville and Gander, where we could see 5 to 10 centimeters of snow through your Saturday night. Another storm on tap for Sunday. We'll get to that in just a moment. But first, let's check in with Mike Arsenault in the city of Guelph, Ontario. Absolutely, Mike. Thanks for that. You know, growing up, my dad would always make us a backyard ice rink. It was one of my favorite things to do as a kid, and probably now as well. All right, so we have high pressure to start us off on Saturday, but the big story as we move into the afternoon hours, the convergence of systems. We have an Alberta Clipper, we have a Texas low, and you can see the systems, they come together over Ontario on Saturday. By Sunday, tracking east, and that's when we're going to see snow and mixing through Atlantic Canada. And next Tuesday, very cold temperatures in store for Ontario. So when we have this low come into the south of the province, we are very likely to see some snowfall. In terms of what we can expect this weekend, though, generally we're looking at about 10 to 20 centimeters through northern portions of New Brunswick as we track further to the south towards Halifax. 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. And I do want to clarify that with this system, for most places we start off with snow. We'll see some mixing followed by rain. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, this system. Let's track now further to the west to Weyburn, Saskatchewan. It's been a snowy start to 2015, hasn't it, Norma? Driving conditions not ideal, to say the least. Thanks so much for sending us that viewer video, and we would love to see your photos and videos. And if you would like to do that, you can upload them to upload.theweathernetwork.com or share them with us on social media. We'd love to have you a part of our weather story. Now, the second reason we are in storm watch, of course, the impending system through central and eastern Canada, but we also have that Alberta Clipper already bringing with it extensive snowfall amounts through southern portions of Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and northwestern Ontario. In terms of the amounts that we can expect for places like Brandon, right on the cusp, we could see upwards of 15 centimeters of snow. Now, the bulk of this snowfall will be through the Friday evening, Friday overnight, and as it tracks east towards on northern Ontario, that's when we're going to see that snowfall into your Saturday. Another big story that we need to talk about extreme cold warnings to the north of Manitoba and the extreme north of Ontario. We will be approaching wind chill values through the overnight, approaching that minus 45 mark. But yes, we have the warnings there, but this is a widespread story through the prairie provinces. Places like Red Deer, where we had Deb Mediichka earlier today, dropping down to minus 27 with those strong northwesterly winds. So when we are heading outside and these temperatures are so cold, very important to bundle up and minimize the amount of time you spend outside. Also, if you have pets, bundle them up as well. Calgary through the overnight, minus 26. And as we get into northern Alberta, approaching minus 40, so it is really going to be chilly. We're going to have more on our storm watch along with an update on our Western Canada coverage.